Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the 66th episode of Track Help on this fine Sunday evening. And we've got a whole host of footage to go through today from around the world. Before we get into today's footage, I do want to do a quick recap of my recent collab with GP89. Now, if you guys were following the Instagram page, you would have seen daily stories over the last week of myself and George, basically going to different tracks in Greece and also taking part in a duo's 3-hour and 7-hour endurance race. Now, that was tough, I have to admit, especially in the summer heat and all. And to make matters worse, the track wasn't the most resurfaced, let's say. Very, very, very bumpy. Almost felt like rally. I was cracking up to some of these comments on Instagram. Is this track on the moon? When was the last time they renewed the pavement? After World War I? That's rough. Is it a truck road? Well, I'll tell you what, it felt something like that. However, the layout you're seeing in the background of here is absolutely insane. If only Kartmania went ahead and resurfaced it, it'd be a mega track. It's about 55 seconds, 54 seconds. So it's fairly long, especially for rentals. And the backdrop is incredible. It's high elevation, so you're in the mountains. That was obviously where we did the 3-hour and the 7-hour. We then went ahead to SFI. That's a bit loud over there. SFI is probably the opposite to Kartmania. It's the smoothest and newest track in Greece. And it's dedicated to owner karts. You see in the background, I'm driving a Rotax. The reason is such a long track, more than 1 kilometer long, around 53 seconds in an owner kart. So in the rentals, you're pulling 1 minute 10s, and it sort of drags on the lap in rentals. But in the owner karts, wow, absolutely incredible. We did a couple of other tracks, but I think notably the third best, if you will, would have to be Kartdromo. And this is a track which, again, is quite smooth, quite easy to learn. And you guys would have seen the latest video on Instagram, which is absolutely blown up, which means there's a lot of interest in it. More than 100,000 views. I couldn't believe it in 24 hours. And it's just me talking to you guys about the latest device, which I've been using for the best part of a month now, before I made this video. It's called the Racebox device. So it gives you live telemetry, something you'd only normally get in the owner karts. Now it's available for rental karts. Not only does it give you sector times and all, but it shows you live how much you're gaining, how much you're losing. When we did the endurance race, the 3-hour, 7-hour, for me, it's a brand new track. It was amazing to use this device in every stint I had, because you have an understanding of how your lap times are, and also understand kart rotation, because every pit stop we did in the endurance was a brand new kart. So you're going to have some rockets, which were 53-second lap times, and then you would have had some karts which are absolute tractors, 55 seconds. So immediately you know how well your kart is doing, and then you adjust your line. So then you can see the lap time either increasing or decreasing, and it's perfect for getting up to speed quickly. What we're going to do now is head over to our Academy page, because we've only got an hour, and we're going to go through Umar's footage. Umar is not going to be here, actually, he informed us. So we'll start off with Jeremy, who's got some owner kart footage. We're then going to go over to Anders, and then we'll round it off with some questions in between, because I'm sure on the YouTube chat there'll be some questions. Jeremy, you're back in is it Hong Kong now?
China.
In China, which part in China?
Hong
Could you just increase your mic volume, because I'm struggling to hear you? Maybe talk closer to the mic.
Just give me a sec.
No worries.
Hello. Hello.
Okay, I can hear you now. Which part of China are you racing in?
Shanghai.
Shanghai. Is that near the F1 track, where this karting track is?
Yeah.
Nice. And I remember from this time last year, because you obviously visited that time round, you're back on a familiar track, you can say, this time. You know it better.
Yeah, I guess so.
But it's Rotax. So until now I think you've only done Sodies, and did you try D-Max at Daytona before this?
I'm not even old enough yet.
Oh, you're not old enough for D-Max. Okay. So how was it
No,
doing 4-stroke Sodies and then coming right into Rotax?
crazy experience.
In terms of the physicality, the speed, what specifically was overwhelming?
Definitely like speed when the rest start like getting up, you could definitely feel the power difference.
Yeah, exactly. What about the tire grip for this session you did? Did you know what tires they put on? Was it
No, no, not at all.
okay? No, next time you go, and obviously there's a mechanic who will be setting up the kart, or whoever's in charge. Just ask them what condition are the tires in. Number one, what tire pressures they put, because these things really play a factor in the owner karts. Remember now, we're stripping down all the weight. It's a very light chassis, very powerful engine, and you'll find on the new tires there'll be a lot of grip. Once the tires start to
Yeah.
fade and get pretty bad, then you're going to have a lack of grip, but still that same power. So the kart will feel like it's sliding and you've got no grip. And it's really interesting to hear and see your driving, because similarly over the past week I did something just like this, where we were driving rentals for majority of the time, and on the last day we went into the Rotax, and it was a completely different driving style. We obviously had a driver coach during those 2 sessions. It was very limited sessions, but the kinds of habits we took from the rentals, it was very, very clear in session 1. And in session 2, the coach made sure, look, guys, you've got to change these certain things up, which I'm going to go through with you. But overall, how was the layout? What sort of timings were you doing? I know it's an open practice.
So I think my fastest lap was a 43.2. But since they race like professionally here with owner karts and like the championship, I was nowhere near the average lap.
Okay, average.
Seconds.
What's the average?
40 seconds, and the
40
track
seconds.
record is like 30 seconds. So
Gotcha. Wait, 30 or 40 seconds? What are they?
So the average is 40, and the track lap record is like 30 something.
Okay. It'll be interesting to see that 30-second lap. That must be really quick. I mean, you're going at a fair pace already. I can understand. Okay, 3 seconds here and there, because remember, the grip on a race weekend ramps up so much, and then obviously the drivers have more experience. They're putting their karts to that track, that setup, etc., that layout. So yeah, there's a few seconds in there. Let's try and bring up the track map over here. Do you have the name of the track by any chance?
No, I tried searching up and it didn't come up, so this is a bit unknown. I can get next time. I can get a picture of it.
Disc karting, that's indoor stampede, K1 speed. Surely there's. I think this is it. No, is it on their F1 track?
No.
Okay, it's just nearby. Yeah. No problem. For next time, just try to get the track name. I'm sure you can get it from Google Maps or something when you put the location to go. Let's just go back to the footage. This time I want to bring up my pen actually. And how was this session run actually? How was the format? Was it just 10-minute sessions, open practice, or you had what was the duration?
It was an 8-minute practice session.
Just one, or you had a number of those?
I had 2.
Okay. Is this the second one?
Yeah, second one.
And where was your best lap time, you think?
Probably around middle of the video.
Yeah, about now where we're watching from. Let's just go through a lap very, very quickly. And what I want to do is ask you, the 1 or 2 corners where you do want to get some advice on. Talk me through the first part of the lap. It's
Hey, Omar.
fast left-hander.
Okay, Omar, I don't mean to interrupt. This happens every Sunday.
Go ahead.
Right?
Sorry, just repeat that, Daniel.
This happens every Sunday, right?
Yep, we got this every Sunday at this time.
Okay, sorry. I'm just gonna have to leave early, and I just wanted to ask.
No worries at all. Take care, Daniel. We'll see you in a
Thank
future
you so much.
session.
Okay, thank you.
We've just gone through sector 1 over here, which is, I'd say, relatively high speed. Turn 1, ideally, is it flat, or you got to add in a bit of braking?
Yeah, adding a bit of braking. I tried to lift and it didn't go well.
Okay, you want to save the cart more than anything.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's
what I was
painful
trying to
too.
do.
Painful, definitely, to have a crash with this. We've obviously got the it's a reverse layout. It looks like, right? You're doing based on
Yeah.
the grid markers. So we've obviously got the 90-degree left, which would have been the last corner. This is going to be your first corner on this layout. Straight into, it looks like a hairpin, right? Left-hand hairpin.
Yeah.
Heavy braking, because think about the amount of speed that you're carrying into this corner, right? If you had some kind of telemetry over here or device, you'd probably be topping out at at least 100 kilometers an hour. Any reference for braking for this corner?
At the end of the curb, I was braking there. There's like a long curb, and then there was the end, then there was another curb, and I was braking at the end.
Gotcha. That takes us into the end of sector 1, which is a right and a right left. Yeah. So double right immediately into this. Is this almost a hairpin as well? Tight left, you could say.
Yeah.
Middle part of the lap, we've got a fast double left sequence over here. Is this pretty much flat, or is there a bit of a lift on entry?
Just small brake.
Small bit of brake, yeah. Get that rotation, hug it to the left, and then into another braking point for a right-hand hairpin this time, which will then lead us towards the end of the lap through the right-left chicane sequence and out the final corner over here. So specifically, which corners do you want to go over?
The right left in like sector 2, if you after like the straight.
Yep. So is it this one coming up over here? This right left?
The one after this corner, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, this one, yeah.
So what we have over here is a tight right-hander, which immediately transitions into a fast left-hand sequence. Right now, I mean, we don't have the overhead shot, but is it almost a double hairpin, you can say? Because this right looks like a U-turn, like a hairpin style corner, and then it's almost a tight left, which is another hairpin. Is that correct?
Yeah.
I think, I mean, not having the off-board, obviously, the track map, it looks almost like a double hairpin. Main thing for this kind of sequence, we want to prioritize our speed coming out of the second part, which is over here. And if you notice, you've got a long stretch. It looks like on this lap, I think you overdid it, maybe with the gas input or the braking. The main thing you want to, lock down, first of all, is the line. And then you want to tweak some things in terms of overall driving style, where it's your braking technique, how you're applying the gas. I'm going to come to that in a moment. The first right, is that with some braking?
Yeah.
And what's the marker for braking, or is it on feeling for the first right?
It's like the changing color of the track.
Okay,
I
that's
noticed,
probably
so I started braking there and it works. So
nice. I'll watch your pedal inputs here because I know it's not too clear on the camera. It's just about this point, yeah?
yeah.
On the brakes, you can even use the outside part as somewhat of a reference. And I wanted to ask you, are you going for a trail brake, so you're braking late and into the corner, or you're trying to go for an early brake, early gas? What were you doing in these?
I think a bit of a trail brake.
Yeah, keep that up. You see, when you have more horsepower, more powerful engine, we switch our mindset from early brake, early gas to late brake and braking almost until the apex, right? So in these karts, you can actually gain time by braking late and into the corner, and they're able to pick up the speed quickly because you've got that powerful engine. Bearing in mind, you applied the gas, correctly. This is a Rotax, right?
Yeah.
I assume it's a junior.
No, senior.
They gave you a senior. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
all right. That's interesting. Regardless, the power band in these is a bit strange compared to Ayami, for example, which gives you RPMs a lot quicker. In the Rotax, it's a hit or miss. So if you lose too much speed under braking, getting back on the gas, there'll be a bit of a delay, and then suddenly it spikes up the RPMs. Did you feel that with the gas?
Yeah.
It's like you put your foot down, there's a delay, and then it's like suddenly, whoop, you're back in your seat.
Yeah.
It gives you that burst. Now you have to control that, and that's something that you can hopefully, once you're old enough, practice in the D-Max, because it's a perfect hybrid. The D-Max, for those who don't know, is the rental car chassis, but it's a Rotax Junior engine. So what you do anytime you drive a Rotax, you try to give it some gas right after braking, right? So what that's going to do, it's not going to create wheel spin. It's not going to be too much gas again. It'll be some pressure on the gas pedal. The best way to gauge if you're giving it something is, what is 100%? How do you get to 100% gas?
I usually go on the throttle slowly, like not
Okay.
just stamp on it.
How can you reach 100% gas? What's the signal? You put your foot down, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. You put your foot all the way down. That's 100%. It can't go anymore. There's no more travel in the brake pedal. So what is giving it something which is less than 100? Just put your foot down a little. Make sure you're not topping out. Giving it something, right? And usually that happens just at the apex, will start to build that momentum back up. So once you start to build that momentum back up, kart's going to start to gain a bit more speed. And once your steering wheel is then straightened out, which happens just after the apex now, and you're confident the grip is there, then you can put your foot down all the way. And what happens is there's a brief delay of half a second, and then the power gets to you. So the point is, we need to have our kart straightened out and then ride that boost. That's just how the power band is going to be in Rotax. So make sure you're giving it some gas, let's say 50% as an example, just after braking, straighten up the wheel, and then as soon as you feel this grip, the wheel is straight as well, full down, ride that delay, and then boost out the corner. Line-wise, what were you trying to do in terms of the apex over here?
Mid apex.
Okay. And were you trying to drive the first part to prepare for the second part?
No, not at all.
Try to think about that. As I said, the key in this sequence is to, I don't mind you taking a middle apex, that's fine. The main thing is we don't want to be too far to the left on exit, which on this lap, for example, you did a good job of. You left that minimum gap, because immediately we're going to have to set up to go back to the left again. So if we're too tight, angle of the corner becomes too much. We've got to brake more, turn more. I like how you're opening up over here, this corner. What about this turn? Is it braking or lifting? What were you managing for the left?
I couldn't tell, because sometimes lifting would work, but then other times it wouldn't.
Okay,
So,
gotcha.
Yeah.
And then you put the gas down, and then you got a big snap of oversteer, yeah?
Yeah.
So what you want to do in this specific sequence, attack the first part of the corner. And yeah, we're trying to get our braking done relatively late and into the apex. Now, think about it. We completed our braking here, which is at the apex, and now we're exiting the corner. So from here all the way to building up the speed, here, we're not going to build up that much speed, right?
Yeah.
So by looking at this, I think you can try to have a wide angle entry like you're doing. This looks good. And maybe add in an early lift, right? See how that works. If the lift feels like, no, I'm carrying still too much speed and I'm counter steering, oversteering like you did on this lap, maybe add in a brief tap of the brake, but nowhere near as much braking as you do for the first part, right? Speed is low, early brake or early lift, play around with that, and then try to give it some gas a little bit sooner this time, because we got a straight coming up, right? So we want to maximize the exit speed on the straight. Give it some gas. Once the kart is gripped up, steering wheel straight, put down to the floor. And that's something that you can try to work on. When are you going to go to the track next then, Jeremy?
Wednesday.
Wednesday, super. How often are you planning to do sessions now? Is it a lot during summer?
What, in England or?
No,
Yeah.
in China, in the road tax.
Think maybe twice a week, but I'm coming back to England next week, so not many more.
It's okay. You know what I'd say is try to maximize the time you got in the road tax. Now, this is something unique, especially location-wise. If you go back to England, it's an age thing where they're not going to allow you to drive the faster carts. Try to maximize your time that you got in these carts, applying something new each time. So this is something you can work on, hopefully, for next week, where what we're going to do is go for more of a trail brake, right, into our corners, and then really work on our throttle inputs, right? Don't go to 100% too soon. Work on giving it something, straighten up the wheel, make sure the car is gripped. And then once we're in a position where we're fully committed on the exit, then we can put our foot down and ride that boost that this kart gives us. Try that on a Wednesday. And
Yeah.
are you going to be able to come back, let's say, next week on Sunday with some more footage?
Should be able to, yeah.
Super. Look forward to seeing how this line and how this new throttle technique works. And let's catch back up then, yeah?
Yeah. I've got, can I say something as well?
Go for it. Before we move on to the next driver.
So I had another practice session, I think 2 days ago.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I was in the same car, but just
Okay.
randomly, like the engine already fell off, and I went on that right and left. I braked, and the engine just completely broke. I don't know what happened, but when I put
and that happened in
foot,
the video as well, right? How you had to restart the engine, for example, or is it something different?
oh no, it's a different video.
Different, okay.
And
Like you just
when
brake and then the engine cuts off.
it didn't cut off. It just, like, when I tried to put gas back on the throttle, it just revved, but it didn't move. It just started revving really loud. I don't know what happened. So
check that with the team, right? That could be an engine related issue, which they need to sort out. Is this somebody you're renting from, or is it like a different person each time?
no, it's actually like the place, like
The
rents,
track,
like
the track
access to people. Yeah.
Okay, so it's your luck, like which card you get.
Yeah, I got given an IAMI after, but I don't prefer the Rotax for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, right now just get as much experience as possible, right? And whether it's Rotax or IAMI, whatever, new experiences is always good. So next time you do it, let's say in the UK or whatever, you'll be more prepared and you'll have some kind of an idea. But do check out what tires they're using. Just try and get these things for me. What brand of tire is it? And what condition, right? Did they put them on recently? Did they're quite old? Because I reckon, because I've driven tracks who rent it out to you, really, really old tires, so it slips a lot. And find out how much tire pressure they're running. That'll be quite important.
Okay.
Anything else, Jeremy, before we move on to the next driver?
No, that's it. Thank you.
No worries. So it's always a pleasure. Let's take a brief break for some comments. We have Slippy on YouTube. He's saying, I found your channel this week because I'm starting karting. Tips have been really helpful. So far, defo the best go-kart channel. Thank you so much for that. I really, really appreciate your support. And something for you and maybe some other drivers who want to get some extra help, you can join the KTips Academy for free. We got a weekly track help session where you can submit footage just like Omar did, Jeremy, Anders. Put a quick description as well, and then you can get me to you can get my advice and some feedback on it. Additionally, we got some resources for you. So karting assistant will answer all your questions, and a fitness and diet coach, so you can take your racing even more serious. So if you want to get an edge over your friends, you want to be the top timing at your track, this is the place to be. Send a request to join. I've just admitted Yifan over here. Thank you so much for joining there, Yifan. Let's go ahead to Anders. Are you still there, Anders?
Yes, hello.
Amazing, Anders. So there's a couple of links over here. This is from a 2-hour race I arranged. And okay, so it's one link, yeah?
Yeah,
then there's
and
the
the
Google
second
Maps
one's
link.
Google Maps. Yeah.
Superb. Let's take a look at the track map over here. So when was this? This is quite recent footage, right?
Yeah, this is from 5th of July.
Amazing. Different track to, let's say, the race that you're going to be doing, I think, next month?
Yeah, the one next month is I'm probably going to take that one a lot more seriously.
This one looks like it was just after.
Yeah, it'd been raining all day that day. We were very, very lucky with the timing. Like, it stopped raining and managed to dry the track out.
Was this your first time at this track?
No, I've been there a couple of times before.
Gotcha. And what was the overall layout? Again, another endurance this was?
Yeah, this was a 2-hour endurance race with mandatory 5 driver changes.
Amazing. How was your teammate this time?
We were 3 people this time, and they were both pretty good. I did set the fastest time though, but yeah,
Okay.
all very
Right
similar
now,
times.
this is a part of your stint, or
Yeah, this is race start. I
Race
didn't
start.
get the very start where we ran to the go-karts like level
Okay.
style.
Gotcha. Overall, how were your lap times? I mean, I guess the weather was improving or staying consistent. So how did that affect lap times as well?
Well, the lap times were faster throughout the day, or the later that we were driving, the faster it was, because the track dried out.
Yeah, definitely. That's always a positive in a race, because when you start, everyone's a bit, cautious, and you don't want to push too much to spin out too early, let's say. Obviously, once it dries up, you get the benefit of, faster timings, a bit more grip. How was the evolution in lap times? What did you start the race with? What did you end it with?
It is in the chapters there, the fastest lap times of each part of the.
Let's look over here. Driver in stint, fastest lap of the first stint, fast lap. So from 50.9 to 49.9. That's not bad, actually.
Well,
And
it's very different track conditions.
what was the positions throughout the race? Where do you guys start? Where do you guys end?
We started pretty much last, but I managed to pass
Okay.
a long guy coming out of the pit lane, and then I got 2 more positions coming during my first stint.
So you finished overall which position?
6th position.
6th position. Nice. That anything which is an improvement on where you started is always great. How were the comms like? Did you have something on your helmets, or was it just with hand signals and signs, or pre-arranged?
Well, I bought some vests on Temu, so we were flagging the vests of our color.
Okay, excellent.
The other drivers.
So what does that mean? Come in, basically?
Yeah, they see the signal, they drive 1 more lap, and then come in.
Superb. How was the strategy? Did you manage to jump people, let's say, in the pit stops, or is it like one pit stop time everyone has to adhere to?
No, it's you could if you were faster in the pits, you could
you can gain some.
Yeah.
This is a nice example. He's come in, same kart, it looks like.
Yeah.
Do you feel that you got a decent kart, or average? What did you feel that
they got new karts this spring, so they were all very similar.
Excellent. In terms of the lap time now, the leaders were doing the fast guys. What was the difference between them?
Like 500. Like, it's not much.
They were doing 49 nines as well, basically.
No, one guy was doing 48.2, I think his fastest was. But the majority were doing quite fast laps.
Yeah, I think definitely when the conditions are changing and it's a wet start, everything neutralizes, and that's the best chance to find out who's brave. And obviously, everything goes out the window. So the guy who's fastest on a dry track, on whatever conditions, isn't necessarily going to be the fastest guy on an unpredictable track like this. And if you're able to hook up a good line through these changing conditions, then you can benefit, even get on pace with the leaders. What are these battles that we're seeing? Is this for position or lap traffic?
Yeah, this is for position. I'm fighting both of
Amazing.
those in the red and the green, and we are lapping, I think, the one in the orange.
Right. That's always interesting because a lot of these races, they don't have obviously the blue flag procedure, so it's sort of your luck when you gain the lap traffic, and if it's in the middle of a battle, it can work to your advantage, or even
Yeah, I definitely lost out in that exchange.
Yeah, you seem to get ahead, but then the corners after that didn't favor you. Were you able to catch up to, or you able to pass these guys?
So my pace was faster than both of these guys,
Yep.
but then the red guy got in between me and the green, which
The
is
green, yeah.
basically my rival, and I just couldn't get past him. It was like driving behind a brick wall.
Right. What was the problem here with 12? Is he just got better straight line speed and you're catching him in the corners, or?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, that's a very common theme you'll experience at different tracks around the world in different races, where it just happens closing on the guy in the corners. You can see on the straights over here, he's absolute rocket. Again, gaining lots of time on through the corners, really gaining over here. And then as soon as it comes to stretch where you need good top end, your kart lets you down. Was there any chances maybe you could have dive bombed, gone for something extraordinary?
Yeah, I
Did you
did
try something
do a
on?
couple, but then he managed to follow my lines and then keep up with me, and managed to sneak past whilst I got stuck behind traffic again. Not really managing the traffic very well.
I think it's over here where you do pass him. Yep, let's watch this over here. Getting a nice exit, making a really nice move. Let's just watch that back over here. I think over a couple of laps, you were consistently gaining a lot. If we put it through slow-mo over here, you'll see the gap is massive on corner entry, but it's your confidence. I think you're going flat. He might be lifting or braking, gaining through the first round, gaining a lot through this time. And I think here you decided, let me just go to the inside.
Yeah, the lap before and the lap before that, I noticed he was coming in very wide through this chicane.
Yeah.
So I figured I'd just place myself there, so I go past.
And that's what you need. The awareness is always important. Even if somebody's holding you back, just try to figure out where you're gaining, and then let them repeat that for a couple of times and catch them at unexpected. Here, he's taking the same line, which he's always been doing. He even looks over to see if you're there, but it's too late. Gap opens up. You make the move. It's going to be interesting to see how he gets past then, because I think the lap traffic has
that was the last pass I did on me, or I did on him.
Okay.
From that point on, I was just driving away from him.
Right.
No, never mind. There
I think there's number 5. Yeah. This is a good example now. So number 5 is lap traffic, right?
Yeah, I didn't. He was a relatively fresh driver. I wasn't quite sure how he would drive, so I was making it kind of easy. Didn't want to wreck anyone or wreck myself.
For sure. And that's how 12 just sneaks through. I think it all happens over here where it gets quite tight. Again, gaining huge amounts through this double right once again. There's a lap car. Gain on him through here, gain on him through here. Now you've got to think. Got to make a move soon. Space is closed off, so you can't do the same move you did on 12. And what happens? You just get stuck behind over here, having to come off the gas. And then, that part where he's backing you up through the right, now backing you up through the left. He's giving 12 a chance to catch up. 12 is right there now. He's got the inside line. And unfortunately, once you give up the inside, then it's almost impossible to fight back. You do try to fight him back. You pass him, right, in the end?
Yeah, I get him here. Okay.
Get him back over here. Beautiful. Down the inside, and this time the lap traffic just about will. I was going to say get out the way, but...
So she's like half my way. When she steps on it, she's just gone.
Yeah. This is incredible, actually. Back and forth. Let's see how you finally make that move through down the inside. And yeah, you can see, I mean, great overtake finally, but where is the guy in the green?
He's gone.
He's gone. and that's the problem, because I think you had the pace, right, to keep up with him.
Yeah, no, I would have passed him too.
You could have passed him, yeah. And that's how it is with these races, where you go for, get caught up in battles, and somebody who's at the front of the pack gets clean air. That's the advantage that they can get. So you always want to try to be lucky in those moments. You obviously can't create your own luck. Sometimes a lap car will come in the way. Sometimes you'll just pick them up on a bad lap. So it's important that whatever overtakes you can do, you try to do them efficiently and cleanly, and stay on your line as much as possible. Moment you start getting caught up in battles and all, then you lose time to the leaders, and you won't believe, across a 2-hour race, 3 hour, 6 hour, whatever, it adds up, all these small things. So if you can aim to have the mindset and have clean stint, clean overtakes, which is obviously easier said than done, then you can hopefully maximize the time. Overall though, did you enjoy the race?
Yeah, it was a great time. We had a great turnout. There were 25 people that showed up for that race, 10 teams.
Let's just take a quick look at the track layout, and to round off with, we'll actually go through some specific corners. Before that, I understand this is the start-finish line, right?
Yeah.
Basically, we've got sector 1, which is a left-hand hairpin into a right-hand hairpin, and then this is all flat out, right?
Yeah. When it was wet, I couldn't do that chicane right before the straight flat because you just run off. Yeah.
You just understeer out or something. Yeah. Coming into sector 2, this is where you're really gaining time through the fast left. The double right if you're driving on board, and nice chicane over here where you really made some nice moves. Lots of chicanes actually. It looks like this track is made up of.
Yeah, this used to be a slippery driving course for when you take your license on a normal car. They repurposed it for karting track.
Now that
you
is
see
interesting.
the new one right next to it.
Right. That makes sense now. I was wondering what that was, and it's obviously got the lanes and all painted. So it's an interesting layout where you're not going to have lots of technical corners. A lot of this is high speed, and maybe you can say the end of the lap in the beginning is as tight as it really gets. Overall, any specific corners where you were you're trying to find some time on? Maybe we can go over.
There are 2. It's the last hairpin before the chicanes on the straight.
Yep.
The first one I get right. The second one, leading into the third one, is where I struggle. I think I need more speed coming out of the last one.
Gotcha. Let's take a look through those. So it's basically this corner and this corner, right?
Yeah.
Essentially 2 right-hand hairpins. The overhead shot gives us an interesting perspective at the angle of these corners. This is more like a V shape, where this is a smoother right-hand turn. Which one was easier out of the 2 to take in your?
The first one, definitely.
The first one, right? Let's take a look at your fastest lap. I think that's gonna that's gonna be 32. And obviously to start the lap, that's gonna be a big factor, the last corner. Right now, what's the approach for the last corner? Is it with a tap of the brake, a lift?
No, it's full brake, like really threshold brake this.
Yep. I assume you're carrying loads of speed on entry. Is the braking point maybe towards the pit entry? Or?
It was around this area, yeah. I like to start right at the beginning of the pit entry to brake earlier.
Yep, so just about here, basically, where the tires. Yep. Hard on the brakes, wide on your entry, smooth turning, and then going for a mid to late apex. What were you planning?
Yeah, kind of like a mid to late apex, yeah, but I wanted a little bit closer to get on to top of that curb to help me rotate a bit.
Okay.
I slightly missed it.
Was that something other people were doing, taking some of this curb?
Yeah, the fastest team was using all the curbs. It's a little bit like where the asphalt changes there. It's like a big drop off, and if you get it wrong, then you lose a bunch of time. But if you get it right, then you a rocket ship.
And those guys, were they going all the way out over here, or staying towards the
middle, almost middle, yeah.
Yeah, in the middle. I assume so because you've got to prepare for the left-hander, which is coming up. And that's interesting because normally on a hairpin like this, where you're carrying lots of speed, you'd think you'd go for the traditional out, in, out, but we've got another hairpin coming up. Approach-wise, yeah, if you go for an early break, if you watch your footwork here, early on the brakes, trying to go hard, slowing the kart down, boom, you're releasing at this point, which is really, really nice. And that means we can start putting the gas down just before the apex. So definitely exit speed. I'd say you'd be on the limit. Again, watch your steering wheel inputs. Just a bit of counter steer, which means you're on the limit of grip. And then it's a matter of targeting to get onto the curb, seeing if that gives you a bit more rotation or reduces a few more meters. And that can be something you can, try on future sessions. I don't know how the track conditions were though. Did it feel very slippery in this last corner?
Well, when I set this time, it was pretty dry. Like there was a few spots, but nothing in this corner.
Yep. I think, it
was a bit colder than ideal, I think.
Definitely, that can play a factor. I think for future sessions where it might be slightly dry, it would be easier to rotate the car in. I do like how you're going for a relatively sharp turn-in as well. You can see over here. Sometimes you got to force it, right? You got to make sure to get the kart where you desire to hit the apex, and more importantly, continue gas throughout the sequence. Keep it relatively tight. Again, you do want to open up, let's say, to the crack on the left, and make sure you got better exit coming out this last corner. Did you try a later break? Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Slightly later break.
I have tried, but I felt like I was faster coming out of it when I braked earlier.
The early break, the early gas. Yeah. That's interesting because here, you could say if you brake a few meters later and then try to even go for a slightly later turn-in, going for a later apex, maybe that gives you better speed. I think the name of the game over here is really good effort so far, and to make it cherry on the top, try to get closer to the inside apex, and maybe that'll require slowing the kart down. I don't know. I don't think it's about slowing the kart down. I think it's just about being mindful of the gas. So putting the gas down, fine. What's happening mid-corner? Just getting a bit of oversteer, and that's pulling the kart away from the inside apex. So just be a bit more careful when you put your foot down.
In hindsight, I realized that the canister didn't really help me. I should have kept it rotating and then hooked on top of the curb.
Yeah.
To help me go closer at the end of the corner.
In contrast, now we've got another right-hand hairpin. This is a lot more symmetrical, you can say, a traditional, smooth arc corner, and this is obviously your fastest lap. This looks like it's a lot less braking. Is it more of a tap over here?
Speed. Yeah, I feel like the straights between the hairpins are longer than you expect them to be, so you do get more speed than you think you would.
Yeah.
But it's just a small tap of the brake, really.
Definitely. I mean, you will build up a decent amount of speed, especially coming onto something like this. Again, nowhere near enough speed as you'll be carrying into the final corner, but that tap of the brake is necessary for rotation and avoiding the kart sliding too much. If I look at your steering inputs over here, smooth, relatively close to the apex, and quite constant as well. If you watch the footwork one more time, approaching from the outside, a very, very small tap of the brake, I think just over here. Is the inside line a reference for braking, or is on feeling? What were you doing?
It's on feeling. In real life, you don't really see that line.
Okay, so it's just, I'm getting closer to the corner. Now it's about right. Braking, turn in, right?
Yeah.
Did you try this corner with, let's say, an early lift?
Yeah, I tried. I've been here multiple times. I've tried all the different techniques almost, including the snap understeer.
Snap steer, yep. How did that work out at this corner?
I feel like the tap on the brakes is really what works best for me.
Yeah, you see, in an endurance race, you got to go for the technique which is going to guarantee a relatively consistent lap time. So there's lots of other techniques you can try in corners, and sometimes you might do it really well where you gain time. Sometimes you might overdo it, you lose time. In the long run, over 2 hours, that's obviously going to make your lap time fluctuate. So it's best to go for the line which guarantees consistency, and it's better to be consistent 49.9, 49.9 than 50.3, 49.9, 50.5, 49.8, let's say. In the long run, over 2 hours, you'll be quicker like that. So I think this line, yeah, as you mentioned, it's a good thing, first of all, you experimented different things, because that is the most important. And one last thing for this corner is on the exit. You felt there's no need to go all the way onto the exit curb. You're not carrying that much speed.
No, but ideally I would like to carry more speed out of it, but
Yeah.
I just couldn't get it right that day.
What about the inside curb over here? Were people using it? Were you trying to get to it?
It's pretty bumpy. It costs you time.
Costs you time, yeah. So I think the reference is just get as close as possible without touching it. Yeah, the thing with finding the sweet spot as well in these conditions is going to be tricky, because it's a evolving track. There'll be wet spots which eventually become dry, and then you want to push, but then you're unsure where the limit's going to be. So I think the fact that you're able to not only improve your timing but then make up a few places in the race is a good start. What do you think you can do next time to get even higher? Something in the strategy, or maybe in the lap times? What do you think was the difference? I think you're muted.
Oh yeah, sorry. I'm not quite sure really. Yeah, probably the biggest one is probably lose weight. But
oh, was there no weight limit on this one as well?
No.
Yeah, that's always the motivation. I think one thing, having personally done a couple of endurance races lately, we lost a lot of time in pit stops and just getting caught in unnecessary battles. So staying behind back markers too long. Those things are underrated actually, because we analyze after the race how many seconds we might have lost through slow pit stops or staying behind somebody too long. And it adds up, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, and that could be the difference to the guy in front. So very difficult to, get that perfect strategy. I think, Philip, you got something to add?
No, but I just had a question about something else.
No worries. We're going to round off with you. Don't worry.
Yeah.
When is your next race then, Anders? Is it the race in August?
Yeah, that's the next race. I'll probably try to squeeze in a session before that.
That's awesome. Let us know how it goes. Be sure to record the footage of that. We look forward to seeing how you get on, and hopefully some more footage to share in a future session. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to round off today's session with Philip. Philip, go ahead with your question.
Yeah, I have a question, because the races that I will be doing here in Italy,
yes,
it will be dark. There will be no sun, because it's held at night or at the evening, because at like 8 p.m. I'll say. And I had a question about if there is something that I have to change about my driving when it's dark.
Oh, that's a great question. I recently drove at Kart, which has some of the worst nighttime lighting. I felt like the moon was giving me more light than some of the lights on the track. It was crazy. Yeah. I was like, what's going on? Is the power out today or something? But no, it was definitely different, because everything's a lot more unpredictable. So where you'd normally feel comfortable, okay, this is where my limit is for the entry, this is the track limit for the outside, the inside, that was becoming a lot more unclear. Now, where is this track, first of all? What's the name of the circuit?
It's in Italy. I could write it in the comments here.
Yeah, in the comments, let's get a track map up. Let's get maybe some footage up as well. And in the meantime, I can actually show you Kartdromo at night.
I think that is how you spell it, but
yeah. So how do you know it's going to be? No, you're just saying it's going to be at nighttime, right? You don't know how the lighting is going to be.
No, but it's pretty strong, I think.
Yeah. No, I think that there will be decent lighting. It looks like an incredible track, first of all. And is this going to be for road tax or rental?
Rental.
Rental, okay. Right. And what's the race? A typical sprint race, or what's the format we're looking at?
It's a 5 lap quali and then a 30-minute race.
5-minute quali and 30-lap race.
No, 5 laps of quali and then 30 minutes of race.
30 minutes of race, gotcha. It looks like these guys over here are doing something similar. So it'll be nice to put some footage in the background whilst we discuss how your driving changes from daytime to nighttime. Do they run public karting over here at this track? Like you could just pay for arrive and drive sessions?
Yeah.
Cool. Do you know if it's going to be open for public karting on the day of the race? Because the race is at night.
Yeah, it's open. So I think I will come at the track earlier and practice a bit.
Oh, nice. Just straight off the bat, looking at it, because I saw on the Google Maps image as well, all these dark patches. I said, no way, that's the rubbered inline, and it's obviously not. It's brand new surface. So that's going to be interesting to get used to in your warm-up sessions. How braking on these different types of surfaces makes a difference. Is there more grip, less grip on some parts? Now, the reason I was asking about the public karting is very positive that they're going to be open, because remember, public karting, essentially they'll clean the track for you. Yeah, there's going to be sessions back to back, putting rubber down and comparing it to the first session of the day to when your race starts. There'll be a lot more grip. So more grip obviously means two things: more speed, which might mean a bit more braking is needed in some corners, but also you can tighten up your line. This is something we use in indoor karting, where when there's more grip, we're able to take a tighter line with, same sort of speed, you can say, but obviously go faster like that, right?
Yeah.
So you don't need to enter a corner so wide. You can go maybe a few meters to the inside. Now, play around with that. See if there's specific corners where your minimum speed doesn't get affected. And also, if you're able to take a shorter path. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Is it fine if I can ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead. Go for it.
So I was just asking, with my driving style, was it fine when I did like the flick, or should I be more smooth with my turning?
Okay, no worries. I thought you had something to mention over here. Let me answer anyway.
That's one.
No stress. Basically, you want to go for smooth inputs, right? Don't go for the flick.
Thank you.
No worries. No, don't worry. I thought you had something to add here. Coming back to your track over here, Philip. Make sure you use that practice to get up to speed with how the layout goes, and find those corners where you can take a shorter line. That's to me the most important thing. There's going to be probably a lot of the top guys, or I'd say regular guys who take the normal, out, in, out, the wide entries. But if you want to gain the upper hand, especially at nighttime where there's a bit more grip, right? There's going to be chances to take corners tighter, basically saving on the meters. And that can be worth 1/10, 2/10 per corner. So it's always valuable to do that. Yeah. Have you ever been to this track before?
Yes, I went last year, but last time I went there, I didn't remember anything about last year because
Okay. Yeah. How was the timings? Were you competitive?
I don't think super competitive, but still a bit. But there is a lot of time to find, because after the session I knew that at some corners I could take like a little bit more without braking, and more throttle.
And that's natural. Whenever you go to a new track, you're going to do a couple of sessions and you'll immediately know, okay, that felt well, but there's those 1 or 2 corners where, I could have gone a bit faster, could have done less braking, whatever it might be. But you note that down and you try to implement that the next time you go to the track. So go there with a positive mindset. You've got experience at this track. I'm sure there'll be other drivers who are doing it for the first time. So you need to push in this race and do your best. What I want to round off with today is actually show you guys the Kartdromo clip. So imagine you've just sat in your car. This is just after sunset, and you can see, beautiful visibility. It's decent, right? If we skip to, so this is about 3 minutes into this. Let's say 15 minutes later. Let's go a bit later to, somewhere over here. Oh my gosh. This is one half of the track, right? And there's just no lighting over here. I mean, what is this? And, it's flat out. It's more powerful karts. These actually have the Rotax engine. And if you're wondering, if that's the only light they have in this sector, pretty much. Because as you go downhill into the trees, there's no visibility. This is literally pitch black.
I don't see anything.
Yeah. You see that up there? That's the moon. And that was giving light. So I think that's what they were doing. They're like, okay, the moon normally ends up over here, so we're gonna save on a light. And Go ahead, Anders.
Did you feel that bright phone screen might interfere with your vision in the darkest parts?
Great question. Believe it or not, I didn't, because on that sequence, I was just looking ahead at what was on the track. But yeah, I can see what you mean, where it looks a bit too bright. It was manageable. That's it for today's track help session. Let's just round off with a comment from Dev. I don't know what to say, but just saying hi, enjoying the stream. I'm going to try out some of the feedback in his own sessions. Absolutely, Dev. Looking forward to that. Thank you so much to everyone for joining today's track help session. Until next week at 6 p.m. GMT. We'll see you then. Take care, everyone. Good night.
Night.
Good night.